A lot of people have problems with lighting when it comes to video conferencing. You might find yourself on WhatsApp or even on your computer or your laptop, and the background is looking really, really bright, and you look almost like a silhouette. You've gone very dark on the screen. So I'll put together a few hints and tips here, which will help you overcome those problems and just explain why it's actually happening. It's quite common now for people to use their phones for networking meetings, Zoom calls, that kind of thing, and which is absolutely fantastic. You can use these anywhere, get different backgrounds that you want. You'll probably notice I'm looking pretty dark, thinking, Paul, what are you doing? I can't see you. The whole point of this is to show you how you can change the exposure. So what your camera is trying to do is trying to expose for the background. That's what it thinks you want to be filmed. But if you just literally touch the screen where you are, and you just notice I've just gone brighter and now not a bad exposure, the camera, you're telling the camera, I want to get this part now at the correct exposure, and it just changes the whole look of it. I just touch the screen again, just in the background, and I've now gone darker again. Now when it comes to use, I'm going to bring me back again. There we go. So like I say, when you're using your phone, that's fantastic. Now you haven't got this option when you're using your computer. When you've got your laptop, again, you'll notice sometimes people are quite silhouetted against the background, and they might have a really bright window behind them, and they're in and out of exposure. They go dark, they go light, they go dark. So if you have got blinds behind you, pull the blinds down, get the lighting right before you actually start your meeting. And then you won't have this problem, and you'll be seeing clearly all the time. So like I say, if you've got curtains, a blind, draw those. Alternatively, even better, to make sure your camera is actually, your computer is pointing towards a neutral wall. So you're sat against quite a neutral wall, and then, like I say, maybe put in a couple of the house lights as well, just to give a bit more ambience to the actual footage, and you'll get a lot better. You won't actually have a problem with the exposure. Now at the minute I'm looking a little bit too dark, so what I'm going to do now is just switch on the side lamp. I've got just a normal house lamp, and that's sort of brightening me up straight away. And I'm also now gradually just going to turn up at the minute I've got my screen down as low as it can go brightness wise. So I'm now turning that up, and you can go too far with this to the point where I look a bit too bright, so I'm just going to turn that down a little bit. Just take it down. It's about halfway now on the power. That's it. That to me doesn't look a bad balance. I've also got a green screen behind me. The background is actually quite messy, so I've just dropped the screen down behind, put the logo on, and it just helps you look a little bit more professional. So I'm going to try it in the reverse way now. So I'm now going to dim my screen again, so you can see the difference. And now I'm just going to turn that lamp off, and that just shows you the difference. Backgrounds are really important on video, particularly live video. You can be working from an untidy office, which mine's a little bit untidy at the moment. I prefer to use, I'm fortunate enough because obviously my job, I've got a green screen at the back of me, and I've actually chose a slide which I want to put over that green screen, which has got my logo and my details on. It's also great if you've got something like this kind of facility, because whilst you're actually talking, people can look, sort of subconsciously at what you actually do while you're chatting. And they've also got your phone numbers there to contact you after the meeting if you forget to give them the numbers. You can use some of these virtual backgrounds as well without a green screen, sometimes quite successfully. In fact, occasionally, if the light is a bit bright coming through a window or something, I tend to have to do this because you tend to get a little bit more sort of the mottling effect that you get from these backgrounds. You can see a little bit of it just around sort of my hairline and sort of down the bottom corner of the screen, but this can actually get quite bad sometimes when the lighting is wrong. Another good tip, if you do your video conferencing in an office, and you try and choose a neutral wall, something that's not too busy. So what you can do as well is set up your banner stand if you've got one, or some kind of large graphics which explains and shows to the delegates what you actually do as a business, and it also looks a lot more professional. I try and avoid, if possible, to wander around with your laptop or your phone during meetings. It can be a little bit distracting to the other viewers, and it doesn't look quite as professional. Totally understand sometimes if you have to move, there might be a barking dog in the background or something else that's quite distracting, so you've got to get up and move during that meeting. But if you can sit down into one place as if you are in somebody's office, keep that in mind, and like I say, once again, it just helps you look that little bit more professional.